Hello and welcome back. Today is an exciting day for me. It's the first sauce I'm making using my 2019 harvest. So join me right after this. Before we can start, I need to go and pick some peppers, so let's get out to the greenhouse and the polytunnel and let's get what we need. Today we're going to be using the Bangalore Whippets Tail as well as some Cayenne peppers. Is going to have a bit of an Indian theme, being that we are using some Bangalore Whippets Tail, so some of these ingredients might seem a bit familiar to you if you've made a curry recently. First up are my lovely fresh peppers that we've just picked from the greenhouse and the polytunnel, and I've given them a quick rinse so we can get rid of any dirt or dust or anything that's on there. So that's all I've done, just plain water, rinse these off. I'm going to put those aside for now and have a look at the other ingredients. First up, we have some cumin seeds. You can use cumin powder if you'd like. Ginger, white onion, some garlic of course, some vinegar, just white distilled vinegar, and some salt. Some of these things are down to preference, so if you follow what I'm doing here, if you're not too much of a fan of garlic, then you can maybe add a bit less. I like garlic quite a bit, so does my wife, so we go with quite a bit of garlic. On the cumin side, we're going to be using a teaspoon of cumin. Salt, we're going to be using a teaspoon of salt to start. I might add more later, but a teaspoon for now. You can always add salt, you can't remove it, so don't go too heavy on the salt in the beginning. And then of course we got our distilled vinegar. This is 4 tablespoons of distilled white vinegar. So with the peppers, all we're going to do is destalk them, so get rid of the green bit over there, and we'll chop it up a little bit just so we can fit it all inside this little jug. If you are quite sensitive to the heat of a chili pepper, then I would recommend wearing gloves. These aren't really too spicy, but they can burn if you touch the wrong places afterwards. So there we go. I might end up needing a bit more vinegar, but again, I'd rather be able to add than try and figure out how to get it out. So I think I do want to thin it out a little bit more. This is quite thick in there. It's more of a puree than a sauce right now. So I'm going to add in probably another 4 tablespoons of vinegar into this. Again, this is a bit of preference. When it comes to vinegar, some people don't mind vinegary sauces. I actually don't mind them at all, but some people really don't like it. So just use your judgment. What I will say is this smells incredible. So it's time to give this a bit of a taste. Oh, smells are lovely. But we're going to see if we need any more salt in there, and then we're going to do the final step, which is to put it on the cooker for a little while and simmer it down. No, I think that is perfect. That tastes incredible. Perfect amount of vinegar. I'm glad I added a bit more of the acidic sort of taste. The heat is decent. It's quite spicy. I'd say about double that of Tabasco maybe, but let's render it down a bit on the cooker, and it's actually going to increase the heat a little bit because it's going to remove some of the liquid. This has been simmering now for around about 10 minutes, so we're ready now to bottle. It's smelling amazing. It's got quite a bit of spice to it, but it is looking really good. So let's take it off there, let it cool for a second, and then we can get to bottling. It's time for us to bottle this. It'll make a couple of these 150ml bottles, if that. So it's not a lot of sauce, but I've obviously only used a few peppers. So let's do that and finish up. We're going to have a final taste of this and see what we think. That is lovely. Of course, when you are cooking it down and simmering it, you're releasing some of the liquids from it, which means that it's going to be a bit more concentrated. So it is a bit more spicy, but also it does become a little bit more salty. So just bear that in mind when you're making this. If you taste it before you put it on the stove and simmer it, it might not be as salty as you think you want it, but as soon as you simmer it through, if you add more salt, it's going to be way too salty. This is perfect. So if you are doing this, just keep that in mind. Anyway, that's a nice easy sauce to start the season with. No fermenting, so you can have it to try and use straight away. I think I'm definitely going to be making some more of this because it is really tasty. I think this will go great on sausages. Some lamb as well, I think would be really good with this. But obviously only I have a few peppers at this time of the season. It's still late July or mid-July at the moment. Got plenty more months to go for our ripe peppers to come through. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, hope you learned something, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Stay spicy.